Hello and welcome to Driver's Therapy. In today's video, we're going to be installing this JVC radio on our 1995 Nissan Skyline GT-R. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and remove the shift knob by turning counterclockwise. Pretty easy to do. And then you're going to go ahead and lift up on the e-brake. Also, you're going to go ahead and remove this ashtray. And I'm going to remove my awesome eject button here. And at this point in time, I'm going to remove the 2 screws inside here. Next, you're going to gently pry up on this panel. You could use a trim tool or you could use your hands. All you want to do is just simply pry up, try to be gentle. And then we're going to turn this over. And we're going to go ahead and disconnect these electrical connectors. And we're going to remove the panel out. And now we're going to be removing these screws right here. We have 1, 2, and 3. So let's go ahead and remove those. The next part is you're going to want to be gentle, but before we remove the main panel, we're going to go ahead and remove the face of our old radio. And at this point in time, what we want to do is, being gentle, we're going to be pulling up on this panel until we get the clips separated. You don't want to force this because you could break it. But just like that, just kind of want to gently navigate everything off. And the panel goes all the way across to the right side. I'm actually going to lower the steering wheel. Okay, once it's loose, there's going to be some connectors that are going to run across for the clock, and for the hazard light and the defroster, and over here for some of these switches. So don't pull it out too quick. You just want to gently get it loose and then work your way around it. Now I can't see from this angle, but it's your regular push type connectors. With stubborn connectors, sometimes you just gotta get a tool to help you and loosen it up, and I can just pull it out now. Still being careful, not putting too much stress on this plastic part. Got it. All right, so I have 3 connectors off of here, and now the same thing has to happen here. All right, I disconnected that connector there. It's being held on by this side, but we have the automatic auto AC, pretty much a pitot tube, where it senses the air temperature, the ambient temperature in the car. We need to go ahead and disconnect that. It's a little funky, so give me a quick second so we can get that disconnected here. Okay, so there's a screw on this. Using a stubby, I'm going to see if I could undo it. My main goal is not to scratch anything or hurt anything. All right, with that screw off, the sensor came off. All right, so by removing one screw, we're able to get that off, and this whole panel should now come off. And now we have access to everything. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be removing these screws that connect to the climate control unit. And there should be 2 screws down here, but it looks like the person who installed the radio didn't install those, but those would need to be removed as well. And at this point in time, we could slowly and gently start navigating all of this. What I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to separate the climate control unit and the radio, and the way you do that is on the side there is screws. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my baggie as well, and we're going to go ahead and remove, looks like 8 screws total. It's quite a bit, but it's necessary. In order for us to prevent scratching, I'm going to go get a towel so I can protect the face and also protect the car. I'm using tape, and this is painter's tape, and again this is just so I can protect the trim. I love my GT-R, and we want to keep it nice and clean. Now we can start removing those screws that we were talking about. Same with these. Okay, now that we have the screws off, we're going to go ahead and remove these brackets out the way. We will be reusing them. But now that we have the climate control unit separated from the radio, we could start disconnecting a couple of connectors. And the main connector down here, and I believe the radio should start to slowly come out. And there you go, guys. We have our radio out. And now we're going to do some house cleaning here to make sure that everything looks good, and then we'll start installing a new radio. Okay, at this point, what we need to do is we need to put our new harness and connect it to our old harness. Now, what I was hoping for is that since this was a JVC radio, that I was able to just plug it into the new one, but it looks like they changed their connectors throughout the generation, so I'm going to have to go ahead and install this to the harness. All right. So we finished installing our harness, and just to give you guys some advice, you could pre-order harnesses on Crutchfield for many models, but for our GT-R that wasn't an option, so we had to hardwire it. But you're also going to need an adapter, and this adapter, these two harnesses right here are adapters. You can find those on eBay, but essentially whenever you're doing an aftermarket radio, you're going to need those adapters to be able to hardwire it into the new radio itself. All right, let's go ahead and connect our radio. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to reconnect our top climate control unit to this bracket up here. And the main goal is just being careful. There's a nice click to that. All right, one. And I'm not tightening them all the way down, just so I give myself some room to work with. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and tighten them down. And we're now going to go ahead and snake the microphone. What I'm doing is I'm going from the right side. There's kind of a small little hole, and I'm just going to push the RCA side over. And then I'm going to start just essentially pulling this through. Okay, at this point in time, we're going to go ahead and connect our mic since we sneaked it through. And now I'm also going to be installing the radio portion of it. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take this cable right here and we're going to connect this. I like to turn cables to make sure I know which one has the least amount of resistance. It looks like it's this way. All right, that clicked in. And one of the last things we have to do for cables is we've got to connect our antenna. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We got our antenna wire here, and making sure I don't cross over any wires, I'm going to go ahead and just put it in here, and it should be a nice little click, and that's it. Now we're going to just carefully put the wires inside here, and we should be closer to finishing. Okay, so we have navigated the harnesses in the back. We just made sure that they weren't crossed, or if nothing came loose, or that there wasn't too much tension. But we've got the radio pretty much set up. But before we completely put everything back together, you want to test the radio. And that's what we did. We already paired our phone. So let's go ahead and show you how it works. Okay, our radio has fired up. At this point in time, we're going to go ahead and play one of our videos. Let's see. Oh, I think it still needs to pair. There it goes. Hello and welcome to Driver's Therapy. Today, all right, that sounds really, really great. But on this note, guys, as you can tell, we have a lot of great videos. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you enjoyed watching or you think somebody could get some help, hit the share button, and we always welcome you to subscribe. Well, guys, I hope you get your new radio installed. Thanks for watching our video. You take care, and we will see you soon.